football, and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
It's great to be with you on this Monday as we get rolling post-combine.
Yes.
Big week coming up with the Big Ten Wrestling Championships.
Right here in Happy Valley.
Yes. Finale for the regular season finale for Penn State men's ice hockey. Home finale for Penn State basketball. And
Penn State baseball begins their journey in Happy Valley tomorrow. So they're back here in State College tomorrow for their first game. They take on St. John's.
Maybe.
As of this moment, they're scheduled to.
Maybe.
Let's put that in there.
Maybe.
Uh-oh.
It's supposed to be an ice storm tomorrow.
I know. I said as of this moment. As of 11:06 a.m.
You have to be kidding me. It's like,
they're meant to play tomorrow. Steve Jones, I want to talk through the NFL Draft Combine. Of course, took place in Indianapolis. Everyone made their way at some point to St. Elmo's, where I got to go for the first time, thanks to you. Incredible food, have to say. I guess let's just kind of talk through the Combine itself, the stories that have come out of it, the pieces that have since, I guess, surfaced. The big thing is I haven't seen many negative things as we have in the past, where a lot of the time the Combine happens, someone gets like 0.01 seconds below what they should, and it's like, oh my gosh, this player's going to fall 3 rounds. And I'm just like, why? Why are we putting that much?
The only one that had
into
a
it?
slight, and I mean slight dent in anything, it was slight, was Carnell Tate of Ohio State.
And then the story came out, I believe Adam Schefter posted saying like, oh, but teams found his combine time to be more like 4.45, 4.47, not 4.52.
Carnell Tate's a really good player.
Exactly.
I mean,
and it's like, for him, he is fast anyway in the field, and there's tape proving it. How much does a straight line sprint of that capacity impact it?
Well, that's what I always find the 40 times, especially the SEC players, to be always fascinating. We've been told over and over again by those broadcasting the games, he's got incredible speed, and all of a sudden he's like, he's 4.52. Like, it's like, okay, it's not as fast as you claimed he was. Look, we're in an era where there is massive amounts of video on everybody. Can you play?
Yes.
Okay, that's the bottom line. And when you're playing, especially in the Big Ten and the SEC, you're playing against terrific competition. That's why, for example, the FCS players, there's more of a debate as to how good they are. Like Carson Wentz, how good was he? All right, okay. The kid that went to San Francisco, Trey Lance, okay? Like, he played a game.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's draft picks that just defy your eyes. Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, I said straight out on this format, when he got picked, I said, I don't get it. And he's not a first-round pick.
No, and he is now apparently able to seek a trade from the Colts, as kind of was expected, because he is no longer the number one. Daniel Jones, I know, is a free agent. The expectation is he will come back to the Colts, even though he's dealing with, I believe it's a torn Achilles or torn ACL. It's one of the two. Either an ACL or Achilles.
I think it's an Achilles.
So he is set to return to Indianapolis, the expectation.
So let's get Zane Duran helped himself.
He flew.
Right? That wasn't a surprise. And that actually is not his fastest 40. He's run a faster 40 here.
He got 4.75 was his number.
He's run a faster 40 here. Right? Denai Dennis Sutton helped himself. He came in with the reputation of being one of the freak players and then put together a freak combine.
4.63 40 was sixth in terms of edges. The only ones he was behind were Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Malachi Lawrence, Trey Moore, Cassius Howell. Of course, Reese and Bailey expected to go, 1 through 10 in somewhere in that ballpark.
By the way, I think, was it Bain?
Ruben Bain Jr.'s arms were measured to be 10 and 7/8.
Everybody has said going in that was going to be an issue for him, that he's had to come up with other ways of playing.
And
it is something that, like, people talk about hand measurement. Oh, the hand measurement. Well, the reason the hand measurement is important for a quarterback is not throwing the football.
No.
That is not why. It's when you get chopped, do you have the meat cleaver like Ben Roethlisberger, where you're not going to drop the ball?
Exactly.
Right?
It's the I can hold on to the ball if I get hit.
Yes.
And I'm not afraid of it's going to fall out of my hands.
That's what hand measurement is about. So the arm length thing, I remember way back in the 80s, a guy was a terrific defensive tackle in the college level named Mike Ruth. Played for Boston College. And he went to the combine. He could measure, like, his arms weren't very long. Guess what? It didn't translate in the NFL. Right, now, this is a long time ago. I'm going 40 years ago.
And
that's 40 years, so things have changed.
I'll add to it, which is there has been discussion of his arm length and size, and people saying, oh, well, this is a big knock on him. And it's like, well, no. We've known his arms are smaller, and he's learned ways to play with it.
Right.
When you watch him on tape, you don't see his arms as a factor because he's great. Versus, as has been talked about, Cassius Howell, someone who people have mocked to go higher in the draft, similar arm length, and has been talked about. And on his tape, you can see he is affected by his shorter arms.
He is,
Bain is not, which is why there is a difference in why Bain is expected to go in the top 10 of the draft, and Howell's mocked to be somewhere at the bottom of the first round. He's incredibly talented, but has not been able to make up for the lack of arm length versus Bain, who, with shorter arms, has played incredibly well.
Zakee Wheatley helped himself, did really well. And Venga Ioane solidified himself.
I was going to say,
look, these are all things we've said over and over again about him, so I feel like I'm repeating myself. But Venga is now, I want to say, in the upper 320s. I think it's like 328 or something like that. He has played here between 340 and 350, like 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And we kept saying, for a big man,
he moves.
He moves. I mean, he doesn't move like a guy's 340, 350. Now he's lost weight. And here's the big part. Yeah, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at a draft choice, and a guard is normally not high up on the board.
No, usually the rule is a guard isn't meant to go earlier in the first round because there's less positional value. But
I was asked by one GM when I spoke to him during the season. They asked about Venga. And I said, look, I said, so far, I said, knock on wood. I said, at this point, I said, he's gone a year and a half and hasn't given up a sack. He went, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he ended up not giving up a sack in 2 years.
I'll say his last sack was like 23, 24, if I'm not wrong.
It was 23.
Yeah.
It was 23.
It's a hot minute ago.
Right. So I mean, he went through the entire 24 and 25 seasons, never gave up a sack. And that tells you something. You know, you can put him out and bring him in motion to then set a block because he's got the quickness to do it.
I know he didn't run a 40. Not everyone did. Some linemen did. The fastest one was Logan Jones, the center for Iowa.
I'm not worried about
4.9.
a lineman wearing a 40. I want to know what their 20 time is. I mean, I want to know what their 10s and 20s are, because that's the space they are normally in. Once in a while on a long run, you can break it. I don't know if for example, like Katron Allen, who, by the way, impressed again, especially with his agility, but I don't know if he ran a 40 or not.
I do not believe he ran a 40.
He might be waiting to do it here.
I believe the only running backs to run a 40s, we had Mike Washington Jr., got a 4.33, Jeremiah Love, 4.36, then Damond Claiborne, Jam Miller, Eli Hendrick, Seth McGowan, Jadarian Price, Adam Randall, Robert Henry Jr., and Emmett Johnson were the ones to run 40s. Right. Jeremiah Love, as expected, his numbers are quite impressive because he's an athletic
He's a really
freak.
He's a terrific player. Nick Singleton did the interview stuff. He's got his foot up on a cart right now. And and Drew Aller threw.
Mm-hmm.
And that was significant in that it's the first time he has thrown the ball publicly since the Northwestern game.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a broken ankle, and he had to show everybody that, his ability to throw off, with on a broken ankle recovery, he had to show he could do it.
And he threw the ball downfield pretty accurately.
Right. In other words, he got out to a little bit of a slow start, and then about a third of the way through, then he kicked into another gear, and he was flawless the rest of the way. So, he actually helped himself on that. He, in all likelihood, I'm going to guess he'll come back here and throw on Pro Day.
I would figure that a lot of the players come back here on Pro Day. I know a lot of the Penn State coaching staff. I know staff from the Penn State current and past was in Indianapolis, and they were all posting about the Penn State athletes being there. And it was, of course, incredible to see.
So, I would expect here that Denai Dennis Sutton will not run a 40. That would be my guess. I'm just guessing here.
Yeah. He already set himself to a position where it's like, you don't need to.
I don't think Venga's going to run a 40 because Venga doesn't need to.
Mm-hmm. The only time in my head an offensive lineman needs to run it is if it's such a, like Trent Williams, when he did it. It was like, this dude's different. If you were at that level where you're such an absurd athlete like Trent Williams is, in which case he's been one of the best offensive linemen for the past decade, then run it. But if you're not
Venga's
0.001% athlete,
Venga's in the top 25.
Exactly. He's going to get picked in the first round. He solidified himself there.
And as a guard, instead of being a tackle, as a guard, cranking out some 40 is not going to move him up 5 spots.
He's currently projected to go 16th to the Jets, is kind of the current slot he's in from everyone from Daniel Jeremiah and such. And that's kind of like first half of the first round
I've seen everything from 16 to 21.
Yeah. And at that point, it's a positional need thing. It's like, does someone need him is the question. If he's needed, he probably will go somewhere in the teens. It's just where in the teens does he go? Because as we've talked about the top 10, like at that point, you're picking on some of these players. Of course, Mendoza is expected to go first. You have the David Baileys, Ruben Bain Jr.'s, the Arvell Reese's and Sonny Styles's. You have Caleb Downs. You've got the receivers of Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon. You've got, of course, Jeremiah Love. You've got someone like on the offensive line, the Maui Goas, Spencer Fanos of the world as well, who are kind of in that offensive line realm. But as been talked about, the positional need for a guard is not as high as it is for a tackle.
Quentin Nelson getting drafted where he was drafted, the payoff has been tremendous for the Colts. He's played great. But that's a rarity because guards do get picked in the first round, but they're not top 10 picks.
They're right exactly where Vega is. And to sneak up into, like, I think he could conceivably go as high as 12, 11 if a team really, really thinks they'll need him. The question is... You know
his story about playing football, right?
I do not.
Right. He's the youngest of 9 children. Right? So I was kidding when I said, so you're the baby, huh? Right. And his mom did not want him to play football. Right? So finally, high school, he's just, he's a big kid.
Yeah.
So he sneaks out to try out for the team. And, of course, I know you're shocked he made it.
What?
Yes. And the parents finally pull him aside and they say, where have you been going every day? So he finally tells them where he's been going. And they're like, okay, they started going to the games.
Yeah.
Right? They started going to the games because he's from Washington State. And he originally committed to Washington. And then with everything that was going on there at the time, they ended up coming here. You talk about the late signing period. He was the only player Penn State signed in the late signing period that year.
And it's a heck of a player to have signed in the late signing period.
And he's just an incredible guy. Loves to bake. Oh, no, he loves to bake. Right. You should try, if you get the chance, his banana bread especially when he throws the chocolate chips in there.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. So, but that's who he is. But he's a terrific athlete.
Mm-hmm.
He's a football player that also is an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really knows how to play the game,
and
you can't say enough good things about him. So he'll be a first-round pick. Deny, yes. I don't know what they're going to do with Deny. Deny is in an interesting spot because, to me, there's no question he is no lower than a 2.
It's just there's a lot of defensive linemen that are in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
And so at that point, it's kind of one of those, who do you want out of all of these guys? That looks like what's going to happen in the draft.
Right. This is going to be whether, like, somebody looks at him and go, this guy's going to be great for us. Because, he could be picked as a 1 late by somebody because they just look at it and go, hey, look, somebody that's 6'6" can move like that, has length like that, can drop into pass coverage like that. I mean, you may have, it's going to depend on taste here at some point.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thought.
I mean, if you're projecting, okay, based on, this may play out this way too. But could he be a 1? Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is you look at the players who are in the same ballpark as him, as we're kind of talking about, it's going to be a pick who you want. Because, of course, Bailey, Bain, and Arvell Reese, the edges, are all going to be going early.
Reese is going in the first 5 picks.
Reese is going early. Bailey's going early. Bain's going early. It's an order of which one they go in.
I know Caleb Downs, I think, is incredible. I actually voted Arvell Reese as the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Okay, that was just a personal. Just watched him play and I just thought, wow, because it has nothing to do with zero at all to do with the alleged or not called targeting penalty of the Penn State. It has nothing to do with that. Zero.
Yeah.
Downs is going to be a great NFL player.
But you've got those guys off the edge. Then you look through the rest of the edges, which, spoiler, as we kind of talked about.
Well, Reese is going to have to gain weight to be an edge.
Reese is going to have to gain weight to be an edge.
He's 240. He played at 242. My guess he's going to have to get himself between 255 and 260 if he's going to be an edge.
But he's going to go early in the draft. We know that.
Right.
The other edges in the same range as Deny is, which is kind of the ballpark we're looking at here. You've got the likes of Akeem Mesidor. You've got Keldrick Falk from Auburn, T.J. Parker, Zion Young, Cassius Howell, R. Mason Thomas, Deny Dennis Sutton in there. Like, there's 6 or 7 guys who are all going to go in the same range. And it's going to be, who do you like most?
It's all about, this becomes subjective. This becomes completely subjective. There may be an organization that looks at him and goes, one of them, pick any of them. No, my feeling is it's that guy.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see. I mean, we'll have to see. Drew, look, Drew is interesting. A good pro day here could really help him because I think that would make him a second-day pick.
He's currently slotted somewhere in the day 2, early day 3-ish. He's currently where he's looking.
Though, he can put himself as a second-day pick because, look, he's a quarterback. He's also 6'5". He's 228 pounds. He's down 12 pounds from his highest weight here. He's 240 at one point here. Yeah, 240 was his high here. He's 228 now. He moves decently. He's got a great arm. The problem, for example, let's look at Cleveland. What's the big problem with Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel? Right? It's height. I mean, height does play a role as to how you can play the position in the NFL. Drew Brees could get away with it because Drew Brees was so smart in that. Brees, 6'1"?
He's 6 foot.
Right.
You can get away with it if you're that good.
Well, yeah, but he understood throwing lanes. And to the credit of the Chargers and the Saints, they always created good throwing lanes for him to step up because his ability to step up in the pocket was probably better than anyone out there.
And he understood exactly where a player was going to be.
Right.
Like if a player, as I know Peyton Manning talked about when Ed Reed faked one way and pulled back the other on one of those incredible Ed Reed plays. There's only so much you can do when you're facing someone who's a Hall of Famer.
Sure. Right.
But generally, the best of the best are going to know where you're going to be at all times, and they usually can play around it. And Breeze was one of the talents. He's 6 foot. The only other quarterbacks we've seen in the last couple decades that have been on this sort of stature that have played really well at times have been a Russell Wilson, who has played really well at 6 foot, but as we've seen as he went.
And back in the day, Fran Tarkenton was a lot like that. And Fran Tarkenton played behind bad offensive lines. Initially with the Minnesota Vikings when they were an expansion team, and then with the New York Giants, where he went to a team that was 1-13, and then got them and resurrected them to being a 500 team. Right, but he had to run around like crazy to do it, and that was all part of his MO. Normally, I mean, you talk about Drew Brees, his ability to know how to play the position was so important. Because I'll give you an example. Shedeur Sanders did do some good things this year. Let's give credit where credit's due. But Quinshon Judkins is hurt, no offense, because of his quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, that's horrible play where he hung his guy out to dry by how he played. Like, what are you doing? Out for the year. He's going to be out for a long period of time because of what he did to him. I mean, to throw a ball like that? Right? What are you doing? Okay, that shows you don't know how to play the game. You don't do that. Right? And none of those have been talked about, that play, because that's a play he's got to eliminate when guys are getting hurt because of something you did.
Yeah. Judkins is he had the fractured fibula and dislocated ankle. He's expected to recover and ready for training camp for the 26th season. So, going back to the draft combine real quick, I want to get your thoughts on a couple players here that I thought helped themselves in the numbers. Because usually the idea is either you're exactly the incredible person we thought you were, like we've seen from a lot of guys, whether it's a David Bailey or someone else who we were like, okay, we're confirmed. Arvell Reese, where it was like, oh, him, Sonny Styles, we're like, yeah, these guys are incredible talents. Someone who I think helped himself is 2 players in the same positional group.
Well, the Styles brother helped himself.
Hey, Lorenzo Styles, 4.26, 4.27, and then Brennan Thompson ran 4.26 was the high number for the day.
Right.
But a player who I think helped himself, and I want your thoughts on this player, because you saw him play, and he, of course, broke a lot of Penn State fans' heart this season. Dylan Thieneman. He ran a 4.36, and he jumped 41 inches,
he and Kenyon Sadiq. Okay.
Sadiq, we knew was a freak athlete, but my God.
I mean, Sadiq ran a 4.39 40 for a tight end, which is just phenomenal.
43.5.
As for Thieneman, look, I thought Thieneman was a terrific player at Purdue. I mean, the 2 best players on Purdue, when Penn State played them, one transferred to Ohio State, Max Clare, the tight end. The other one was Thieneman, who transferred to Oregon. They both ended up in better spots.
Yes.
And Thieneman is somebody who's really smart. Well, he's a great athlete, but he uses his brain when he's out there. You can tell he sees things, believes it. He's not a read and react guy. Right? He reads it right away and like, here we go, and knows pretty much where it's going. That's how he made the interception. He made a great play. Right? I mean, leaping in the air to get it.
Because he made a great read and he knew what he was doing. He knew where the ball was probably going to end up being, and it was great.
So he cranks out some numbers, and it just tells you, like, okay, smart player who's a great athlete.
Yeah.
And that's
a winning combination.
Right. And that's going to be something that'll impress a lot of people. He'll be a good NFL player.
Yes.
And I thought he was going to be a good NFL player when he was at Purdue. I thought he was going to be a good NFL player at Purdue.
Yeah.
Seeing him at Oregon, he was even more impressive there because they had better people around him.
And then the other player in the same general area, cornerback, the tied for second highest vertical jump of the day, D'Angelo Pons. So, of course, he comes in, he's 5'9", on the shorter side, 43.5 vertical, which is one of the better numbers this year, and shows you that it's, even if he isn't the tallest, he can still make up for it in the athleticism department.
Look,
which helps. Because he's going to get drafted somewhere in that day 2.
There's going to be a lot of video on D'Angelo Pons. Mm-hmm. So let's go back to the opening play of the second half, which I've referenced many times, where it was great that they called a shot, because I felt like it opened everything up for Penn State. They didn't complete the pass. So I thought the play call was great. I thought the fact that they did it right there to open the second half was great. What didn't they like about it?
They went at D'Angelo Pons.
Yes. In other words, like, okay, it was Devontae Ross, I think they were going to. Right? You flip Ross over the other side, and you have him work on Sharp.
Sharp's good, but he ain't as good as Pons is.
I mean, they're not even in the same category.
Yeah.
And Pons is just, he may be 5'9". Was he 5'9" and something? Is that what the measurement is?
His measurement was 5'9" and change.
Okay. Look, you know where you can put him? You can put him in the slot corner. Right?
Yeah.
A smaller player can play slot corner. This guy is an excellent cover guy. Flat out, excellent cover guy. And in the preseason, we had to vote for 10 players of influence. Now, I did not vote for Fernando Mendoza because,
no one saw this.
I mean, sorry, but I put Pons in there. I put D'Angelo Pons down as one of my 10 players because I thought he was that good. Mendoza, I just didn't know enough about. He played at Cal. I only saw him play one game at Cal. It was the Miami game.
And also,
but Pons is just he's smart. He understands what routes you're running, and he covers them. He's just really, really good. What will keep him from being a first-round pick is he's 5'9". He'll be a day 2 guy, but he'll stick with somebody, and guess what? He's going to be the nickel corner.
Also, for anyone who says, "Oh, but everyone thought Fernando Mendoza would be great," no, Fernando Mendoza was, let's just purely on the Heisman odds here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He was mocked about 25th in Heisman odds. He was tied with Dylan Raiola, Devin Dampier, Jaden Mayava, Miller Moss, and Nico Iamaleava below Avery Johnson, Austin Simmons, Marcel Reed, John Mateer, Jackson Arnold. No one thought this guy was going to have the ability to just jump up to the first overall pick. Of course, everyone knew he was talented, but
obviously in the end, when I did the postseason he was my offensive player of the year.
Exactly. At that point,
I'm just saying in the preseason, I put Pons on there because I thought Pons was that good. And look, I always love this. He's not going to throw at the combine. Well, I don't think he should throw at the combine. What's he going to do?
He can't improve his draft stock because, spoiler, he's going to go first overall. And you can't get higher than the first overall pick. If it was a fight between, let's say, Fernando Mendoza and insert quarterback here for the first overall slot, maybe you throw at that point because you can try and jump to 1. If you know your floor is 2, your ceiling's 1, and if it's a competition, sure, have at it.
If it's 2 and it's a team I like, about not
I was
throwing.
going to say at that point.
It's like, I'm not going to go to the Raiders.
Speaking of quarterbacks, by the way, I want to add him in here, and I don't know what to make of it. And it's been talked about. Taylon Green from Arkansas ran a 4.36 40, fastest for a quarterback. Had a 1.55 split for the 10-yard. 43.5 vertical jump was second, and 11-foot 2-inch broad jump, which is astronomical. He's gonna go to someone in the NFL to do something. We don't know what, because could he be someone you bring in as a wildcat quarterback? Could he be there's a million options, but that is a wildly impressive number set.
The number set of Anthony Richardson is in the neighborhood of this. The difference is, and it's a big difference, Richardson was very limited in the time he was the starting quarterback at Florida. Green is not. Green has a lot of experience. In other words, he's seen a lot of stuff. And he's just a terrific athlete. And somebody, I would say, on the third day is going to draft him with the idea of what you're talking about. I mean, I'd like to know if he could return punts. I want to know if he can return kickoffs. I want to know if I can put him in the slot as a receiver. I'd want to know if there's a bunch of places on the field I can put him. Because, look, people thought there's no way Lamar Jackson is going to last in the NFL. I mean, great athlete.
Yeah. Taylon Green threw 200-plus passes in 4 out of the 5 years he was in college. He did not play his freshman year, but 22 through 25. He threw 271, 212, 381, 326 passes throughout those seasons for Arkansas. So he played quite a bit.
He played a lot. He started a lot.
Yeah.
The problem is Arkansas's record is not good.
No.
Right. So, like, what does that mean? Jared Goff has overcome something that actually is, believe it or not, statistically an issue. Jared Goff had a losing record, 5-6 at Cal his final year. Oh, wow. No. You look back on the quarterbacks that are drafted in the first round, quarterbacks with losing records don't there's something that you're part of the losing. You're part of the losing. That's going to be Green's problem.
Yeah.
Green's problem is Arkansas did not win.
Speaking of the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff, the Houston Texans have made 2 trades in the last about hour. They traded for Titus Howard. Or the Texans traded Titus Howard to the Browns for a 5th-round pick earlier today, their right tackle. The Detroit Lions just traded David Montgomery to the Houston Texans for offensive lineman Juice Scruggs, Penn State, and 2 draft picks, a 4th and a 7th rounder. So Juice Scruggs, a 4th and a 7th on the move for David Montgomery, who now joins the backfield of Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, who is a pending free agent right now as well, plus Joe Mixon, who is out with a foot injury this past season. His future is uncertain at the moment. So Jahmyr Gibbs now has the full backfield to himself.
He is, and now the Juice Scruggs part of it. Where can Juice play? Center.
And who just left the Lions after coming back last season because they had
Frank
line
Ragnow. Yep. Right? They had to fill that spot, and they wanted to do it with a veteran because Juice can also play guard, as we all know. Yeah. But he can play both, and that's why Detroit made the move that they did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for them. Look, the Ragnow sudden retirement ended up being a bigger deal than people realize. I thought it was a big deal when it happened.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Like, okay, what are they going to do about that? That's not an easy replacement there.
And they didn't really figure it out for a year.
Then he tried to come back, and then he couldn't pass the physical. Well, they felt they had to do something, and Juice has been really good.
Yeah. Their starting center was Graham Glasgow last season with Seth McLaughlin behind him, but they felt wasn't good enough, so Frank tried to come back because they felt they needed him.
Right.
And if you're trying to bring someone who's retired back, clearly something was not working, and they tried to bring him back.
It tells you everything that they tried to bring him back, because I think Glasgow they wanted to put over a guard.
They did.
That's what they wanted to do with him. Well, now they have the options up front. For Gibbs, it also means to me they're going to have to draft another running back in Detroit. Not in the first round or anything like that.
You know who I think would be really interesting for them? Dude from Penn State.
Yeah, Katron Allen would be a great pick for them.
That he would.
Yeah, so would Nick Singleton. And I think that, because neither one is going to be a first-round pick. But at some point on day 2,
they're going.
Okay, because you don't want Gibbs, just from the punishment point of view, getting 30 touches in a game as dynamic as he is. Montgomery took a lot of punishment off. Gibbs has more tread on the NFL tire because he had David Montgomery, who is just a pro running back He'll help Houston.
And splitting it helped. Sione Vaki, the former Utah running back, is the current number 2 now in Detroit. So he is the current backup for Jahmyr Gibbs. But as expected, again, as you just hinted at, the Detroit Lions ran a 2-back system, and it worked pretty darn well. Mm-hmm. And you'd think they'd want to keep that if they can. And if you can draft someone in the run,
Baki's not the guy.
He's not the guy. So we imagine whether it is a K-Tron or if it's someone else you want to take, whether you're like, oh, I'm really high on Jadarian Price, whomever it may be for the Lions, they're going to find someone in the draft, one would assume,
absolutely,
to get, because clearly they don't want to spend the money if they're trading away Montgomery's larger contract.
Right.
So that is the latest, at least, in the NFL. Along with that, the Chiefs released Jawan Taylor because the cap measurements and the cap things are currently going on in the NFL. Players are being leased.
Also, he's a civet right tackle.
Yes, that too.
That's a big problem.
Players are being,
a lot of money for a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm. And another one, latest this morning, Dallas Cowboys pass rusher Donovan Ezeraku underwent hip surgery to repair a labrum tear, and is expected out until probably sometime around training camp. He was a second rounder last year at the top of the draft. Led the college football with 17.5 sacks in his final year at BC. So the latest from the draft
Most of
side
America
of things,
would not know that because, unfortunately for Bill O'Brien,
BC is not.
It's amazing that move to the ACC has buried that program.
Yeah.
I mean, it really has. Oh well.
Yeah. And also, I speaking on the Cowboys front, I just want to say, so Jerry Jones has come out again and said, I expect us to be spending a lot more money this year. Steve Jones, it feels like it's 2015 or like 2010 or 2005, because I think every year for the past 20 years, Jerry Jones has at some point in offseason said, we're going to spend money this year. And I want to ask you, Steve Jones, has he spent money in any of those years more than just a normal amount? Genuine question.
That part I don't know because I don't think he has spent it wisely.
No, he's not.
All right, he has not spent the money wisely.
And spoiler, if they think they're going to spend money, real quick, of course they franchise tag George Pickens. The reports are he doesn't want to play on a franchise tag because he thinks he's worth $30-something million.
Yeah,
that's kind of your first starting point if you're Jerry Jones, because if he doesn't want to play on the tag, he doesn't have to play on the tag. And he can sit out, as we've seen a lot of players do.
You know where Jerry Jones needs to spend money? He needs to spend money on the best general manager he can find.
Yeah.
He needs to be the owner of the team and not the general manager of the team. Because, because general manager Jerry Jones hurts owner Jerry Jones. It doesn't mean he's made every wrong call. He has not made it. And not every call he makes is wrong. Right? But he doesn't make enough of the right calls. Right? I mean, that's that to me is the part where okay. I mean, look at Seattle. Seattle just wins the Super Bowl. Right? Is Sam Darnold as hyped as Dak Prescott? No. Is Kenneth Walker been as hyped as any of the Dallas running backs over the years, Tony Pollard or things like that? No, but they're better players, right? You know, Zach Charbonnet is not a great running back. He's a very good NFL running back. Jackson Smith-Njigba is a terrific wide receiver, right? But he's not running his mouth like George Pickens. He's just making plays, right? He's a better player than C.D. Lamb already. Okay, he already is. They got 3 tight ends that are better than the Cowboys tight ends that are not as publicized. They're defensive players, one after another. They're all better than what Dallas has. They've just quietly in Seattle gone about their business. They've made a big trade with Russell Wilson and have reaped the benefits of one draft pick after another, which, by the way, pre-Jerry Jones, is how the Cowboys got themselves, right, where they acquired early Jerry Jones, when they traded Herschel Walker to Minnesota, which was pushed by Jimmy Johnson. And they took all of those draft picks and they turned them into major league players for them.
Yeah.
Right? And all that early success starts to make you think you have the magic touch. Now, I will also say, as a businessman, I'm trying to think if it's natural gas or oil.
Before we get there, I want to go through that Russell Wilson trade because I don't think we have yet.
Right, but I just want to say about he's getting about $14 million right off his oil and natural gas, and he's building a pipeline to do that. The Cowboys, you're wondering in some ways, are they a side business for them? You know, I know what the value of the team is, but when you're doing something of that magnitude, are they the side business, the football team? That's why a general manager is his primary job. Russell Wilson trade.
The Russell Wilson trade. So Seattle sent Wilson and a 2022 fourth-round pick to Denver for first in 22 and 23, a second in 22-23, a 22 fifth, tight end Noah Fant, defensive end Shelby Harris, and quarterback Drew Lock. On this past team's roster, Drew Lock was the backup quarterback. Going over to talk through Shelby Harris, not on the team.
But Locke came back. He went to the Giants at one point and came back.
And then Noah Fant is, of course, also no longer with the team. Going through the draft picks.
But that's not why they made the deal.
No. The 2022 first-round pick, 9th overall, their starting left tackle, Charles Cross. The 2023 first-round pick, the 5th overall draft pick, their starting cornerback, Devin Witherspoon.
He was terrific at Illinois. I'm like going, this guy can really play. Now you look in the Super Bowl, like they don't zone, they do not corner blitz that often. They killed the Patriots with the corner blitz because of this guy's speed. And he's a great cover guy.
Their 2022 second-round pick, defensive end, Boy Mafe. Their backup behind DeMarcus Lawrence.
Right. Mafe was at Minnesota, and I thought was a big-time player when he was at Minnesota.
2023 second-round pick, 37th overall, outside linebacker Derek Hall, who has played the right edge for them.
Yeah.
And he was really impactful in the Super Bowl. You then have a combination of Tyreek Smith and Derek Young. They're two players. Neither have played too much, but Young did make the fumble recovery in the championship game against the Rams.
Right.
So, impact. And then, of course, Fant, Harris, Locke we talked about. So you look at the extension of the trade. It's similar to what we've talked about, of course, with the Celtics and the Nets, where that trade led to the Celtics getting Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, where it's like you may not think about it in the short term, but they're thinking about it long term. And that long-term win for the Celtics led to a title.
Well,
and what did it lead to the Seahawks? The promised land.
Right, exactly, because let's go back to the Bill Belichick mindset. The Bill Belichick mindset when he was with the Patriots and they're rolling, they're rolling, is shelf life. He looks over at Darrelle Revis and says, you got 2 great years in you. Give me your 2 best years. It goes back to the Bill Walsh conversation with Randy Cross. Randy Cross's contract is up. Bill Walsh says, I think you've got 5 more years left in the league, but only two really, really good ones. I only want the 2 good ones. Randy Cross like, well, what do you mean? I want a 5-year deal. If you think I've got 5 more years left in the league, he says, yeah, you only got 2 really good ones. It's all about shelf life. They looked at Russell Wilson. They said, shelf life is over with.
Yeah.
Okay. They saw it before Denver did. They saw it before Russell Wilson did. They saw it.
Yeah.
And they said, it's time to move. Right? And they kind of filled the gap with Geno Smith for a while, and he was
But
okay.
he was pretty good for them.
He was okay.
And then they said, we believe Sam Darnold's our guy. They trade Geno Smith to Vegas. They then sign Sam Darnold, and what is the ultimate thing you never have to say? After you win, you never have to say a word. You won, and that's what matters.
Right.
That point, doesn't matter how you got there. They won. They did the thing. You don't have to apologize for anything because they won.
No, they were smart as to how they got there. And remember, they built this team in part because of that trade in a division that has the 49ers and the Rams.
Yes. 2 teams that were incredibly talented and incredibly high caliber. The Rams won a title a few years ago. And I know it has been talked about.
Yeah.
But John Schneider, of course, reassembled the team. Not a single player from that team that won with the Legion of Boom Seahawks was on this team.
Well,
and that means
that was 11 years
I know,
ago.
but my point is
Richard Sherman's on TV.
I know. But my point is it is incredibly difficult to completely rebuild and then do it again in this case. The only players that were technically in the league the last time this happened, who came in the league the year after that title, Jason Myers came in, the kicker. DeMarcus Lawrence was a rookie that year. Leonard Williams was playing, I believe, with the Jets or Giants at the time on the defensive line. And that was it. Those are the only guys that were in the league at that point. But my thought by saying here is he then reassembled this team, built it up, and then said, Mike McDonald's our guy. And my goodness, he coached his buns off this season.
Yeah.
And they reap the rewards, which, speaking of reaping rewards, Penn State got themselves a win in basketball, Steve Jones, over the weekend. They took down the Iowa Hawkeyes in the BJC 71-69. I was unable to watch this game, but I want to know kind of what happened in the BJC. What did you see?
Well, let's start with Iowa. Iowa probably came into the game, I would say, a 6 seed. They walked out, and they are currently now labeled a 7 seed. I don't think people understand how good that team is. I had somebody come up to me and go, well, I guess that knocks them out of the bubble. I said, what are you talking about? They're way in.
Yeah.
Well, no, in other words, there's because Penn State wins a game, people don't understand sometimes who they beat. So I want to start with this, and then I'll talk about the game. We all know what happened in January. Okay? January reaped no wins.
No.
Yet you look at this month, and the one that got away was USC. If they get USC, they're 4-4 this month. So they end up going 3-5 for the month. Okay? Last I checked, that's an improvement. Josh Reed played a great game, and he is now, he's been the team's most valuable player.
He's been rolling
this season. He had 25, which is a career high on Saturday. He had 22 before that, which was earlier this month. He had 25 on Saturday. He had a perfect second half. He was 6 of 6 from the field, including 2 of 2 from 3, and he was 4 of 4 at the line. All 4 free throws, by the way, were in the last 4 minutes. Penn State was 7 for 7 in the last 4 minutes. Oh, no, wait a minute. Melly missed one. No, Melly's second free throw doesn't count because of a lane violation, and the whistle blew when Melly was releasing the ball, which I think had something to do with him missing the free throw. I think it's like,
you hear a whistle in the middle of your free throw going up, it's always going to affect you.
Which is like, again, you, watch the game, okay? Just do your best here. So you go 7 for 7 at the line. Iowa goes 1 for its last 8 from the field. The only one they got was the layup by Sturtz. Koch, who had really been struggling shooting the ball, he'd been like 7 for his last 38 from threes, was terrific. That corner 3 over and over and over again. You're like, oh, geez. They finally put Reed on him.
Yeah.
To at least keep him from shooting it. The other guys did not shoot the ball well for Iowa.
It was a bad shooting display overall. They went 26-57.
Hausen, but again, Penn State scored 71 points on 39 shots.
Which is
screen on what? He's just moving to a spot. Has nothing to do with the play. Like, take an eye. Like, how can you get a call for an illegal screen on that play?
Yeah.
But they played really good defense and they were smart offensively. And I'll explain. Except for the turnover, the turnovers are bad. Okay,
Turnovers aside.
When you play a team that is 353 out of 365 in pace. They want to get that shot clock under 8 every time. And pass. They make you move, make you play a lot of defense. And then finally, you miss.
They're trying to wear you down.
Right. Yeah, but you miss. So what do the immature teams do? Okay, first shot, I got a shot. Like, No. Now, you only ran 12 seconds off the clock. You took the shot. They got the ball again. 28 more seconds, right? Only one time in the entire game did they take a shot where I went, nah, I don't think so. And Freddie DeLeon had hit a couple of threes. So he came down the floor and he popped a top of the key three, and he missed it. All right, and I said straight on the broadcast that that's not the shot they want.
No.
All right, so they were so patient on offense where they did not deviate from their game because Iowa tries to lure you into fast possessions because, oh, goody, we finally got the ball. The pivotal point of the game. The pivotal point of the game. It's good. It turns out great, but the circumstances are bad. Iowa takes a shot, offensive rebound, bad. Iowa takes a shot, offensive rebound, bad. Iowa takes a shot, offense. It ended up being a 2-minute and 4-second possession. 2:04.
It's insane.
And they got no points out of it.
That's at that point, it's almost demoralizing where it's like,
they went
for how long?
2:04 consecutive, right? Offensive rebound, offensive rebound, offensive rebound, 2:04, and never got a point out of it. And then that, to me and to Dick Girardi, that was the turning point of the game, that they survived playing defense. They didn't get the rebound until the last one.
Yeah.
Right? It was almost like a relief. Right? And Penn State, I think down the stretch, scored on every possession but one. And Sturts ties the game at 8.6. Penn State does the right thing. How did Miami of Ohio win against Western Michigan on Friday night? Game tied at 67. They took it, drove it right down the lane line, went right to the bucket. To tie game, remember. So there's no...
There's no trying
to. They didn't sit there and like I'm going to take a settle three or anything.
They got to the basket
right at him and he laid it up and in.
Yeah,
and they won the game 69.
And what happens if he misses? Right. There's a chance you get a rebound and put it back up.
Right. It's the overtime or whatever. Penn State does the same thing. They take Freddie and they drove him down the lane line. 7 times out of 10, you've got some clown show taking a three out there. Like, what are you doing? Right. There are better shots.
Yeah.
Right? He goes down the lane line. Iowa kid, I don't know how he tripped. He tripped over his teammate, I think. I think they because they were disorganized. That's what was really strange about the end of the game was how disorganized Iowa was. For a team that is, like, I'm watching games and I'm watching video and scout tapes. They are so doggone organized in everything they do. And at the end of this game, they were massively disorganized. Because they come down, Penn State comes down the floor, Freddie drives it. They get confused as to where they're supposed to be. The guy trips over his teammate, which then in turn trips Freddie. He hits the 2 free throws. And then, right, Iowa, 1.5 to go, they call a timeout. He draws up what he wants. And they're totally disorganized and barely got the ball in at their own foul line. It was like really, I mean, Penn State defended it well, but organizationally, Iowa looked like they were just like, they had no idea as players. That's why Ben McCollum was so upset. Like, he draws this thing up and he's like, I don't know what you guys are doing out here. Sturts is an exceptional player. Let's not get around that. Sturts is exceptional. He did not have his best game on Saturday, but he played all 40 minutes. Oh, by the way, had 1 turnover. Right? And it's just exceptional. But it was a great win for those kids to win the game like that. Great crowd support for them. I mean, the crowd was behind them all the way, which was terrific. They made the plays they needed to. They never fell behind by more than 7. Every time Iowa, where you felt like the game was warping toward danger time, Penn State repelled it and brought the game back.
That's the point, is keep it close.
Right? And then they'd kind of push it out a little bit, bring it back. The game was 67-62. Iowa's got a 5-point lead. Penn State comes back, wins the game. I mean, Penn State outscores them 10-2 down the stretch. because they went 7 for 7 at the free throw line down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
They defended. Iowa was only one of its last 8, and that was the layup by Sturtz, which was it's a good play. I mean, and you don't want to foul him.
No.
I mean, he's going to hit the free throws. So letting him, look, and one quick thing, debating about whether Freddie should hit the second free throw. It is an interesting debate.
Mm-hmm.
It is an interesting debate. But I'd rather have him hit the free throw because he's like, there's no difference between a 1-point lead and a 2-point lead. Well, yeah, there actually is a difference between a 2-point lead and a 1-point lead because if you, watch Christian Laettner against Kentucky, if you throw the ball down the floor and he catches with 1.5 and turns at the foul line.
It means they need to hit a 3 to win, or they get a 2, you at least have overtime, and you're playing, if you're Penn State, you've been the one leading down the stretch. You feel much better positionally than Iowa did.
And what happens if you make a mistake and foul? It's because Penn State because it's a double bonus game now. It's 2 free throws.
Yeah.
So there's so I take the 2 free throws off the table. I take the long pass down to the foul line because he can run the baseline. Because he can run the baseline, but it's a 2-point game, right? People would say, if he misses the free throw, it's a rebound 1.4, and he cannot run the baseline.
Yeah.
Okay, so I understand that part, but it still takes the possibility you can throw it down the floor, catch the foul line, and shoot. It's still a possibility that you lose the game that way instead of having the game go to overtime. So my gut is I'd rather have him hit the free throw and make it a 2-point game.
And tonight's games, by the way, the big one, Arizona, Iowa State tonight, 9 p.m.
That's all they have in the Big 12 are big games.
Yeah.
Every time you turn around, Arizona's playing Houston.
Arizona's number 2.
Yeah, the Big 12 has got. Now, Ohio State got a big one yesterday.
They did.
It was their second quad 1 win of the year. Which now they're tied with Penn State for quad 1 wins. Miami of Ohio, by the way. You know how many quad 1 wins they have? None.
Okay.
You want to know how many quad 2s?
Yeah. But how many losses do they have in general?
Oh, they have none. I'm saying, though, the danger is if they don't win the tournament.
Thank you for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones.